Those who refuse the gift of eternal life are condemned to wander in the darkness of eternal night. Coming this fall from SJS Direct. Last Saturday, Meghan Thee Stallion made a social justice statement after doing a performance of her song Savage on Saturday Night Live. And after Meghan Thee Stallion did her performance of Savage on Saturday Night Live, she decided to reveal a sign in the background stating "Protect Black Women." Now, this sign stating "Protect Black Women" was supposed to be a commentary on the murder of Breonna Taylor, but this commentary just shows how out of touch your Meghan Thee Stallion is on the concept of protection. Now, many of these women who participate in dysfunctional behaviors, like your black women who get involved with drug dealers, black women who get involved with gang members, black women who get involved with thugs, black women who get involved with swirling and dealing with the enemies of the black community. Many of these women believe that they are entitled to the protection of black men. But what they don't understand is that protection is not something you are entitled or guaranteed to. Protection is something that is given to black women on a conditional basis. And when your black woman goes out here and participates in irresponsible behavior, like getting involved with enemies of the state, like drug dealers, pookies and ray-rays, thugs and bad boys, then she is not entitled to any protection from the warrior class inside of the black community. It's similar to when you go out here and you buy something like one of these cell phones. When you buy the cell phone, it's under a warranty, under the condition you operate it under the terms that are agreed to in the warranty. Now, if I decide to open the case of this cell phone and play with the components inside of this cell phone, then I have voided the warranty. I have violated the conditions of the contract of the warranty, and I cannot go to the manufacturer and ask them to fix the damage that I have caused, and nor can I go to them and ask for a brand new unit. The warranty is based on conditions and terms that you agree to, and this is something many black women don't understand, because many black women come from single mother households, and because they are raised in single mother households, they believe they are entitled to the protection of black men. Well, I'm sorry to say this to many of these black females out here, but if you go out here and participate in behaviors that do not meet the standards of the black men who are in charge of the community, then you are not entitled to any sort of protection. And if you participate in, get involved with people like your neighborhood drug dealer, like your thug, like your bad boy, like your pookie, like your ray-ray, and people who are involved in criminal activities, then you have voided the warranty as related to getting protection from responsible black men in the community. And whatever happens to you when you get involved with those individuals happens to you, and you have to deal with the consequences of those actions, similar to what happens when an individual opens up the case of one of these cell phones and tinkers with the circuitry involved. If he comes in there and goes into this case and plays with the components and he breaks something, then you have to deal with being responsible for those actions. That's something many black girls are not taught these days because they don't have a father in their life to teach them the concept of accountability or responsibility, because when there's a father in the home, he's going to teach his daughter that when she goes out here, she has to be responsible for her behavior and accountable for her actions. And you cannot ask for protection when you go out here and you involve yourself with enemies of the black community. You cannot go out here and ask responsible black men to take action when you are irresponsible in your actions. You cannot ask black men to come in and protect you from the Pookies and the Ray Rays when they are beating you up. You cannot ask responsible black men to come in here and stop you from getting attacked by the neighborhood drug dealer when you were sitting there reaping the benefits of the neighborhood drug dealer. You were sitting there enjoying the benefits like the Jordan sneakers. You were enjoying the benefits like the Gucci bags. You were enjoying the benefits like the shearling coats. But when this man wants to wallop on your head and warm it up, you cannot go to the responsible brothers and then say, help me, this man is beating me up, when you're supporting that very same drug dealer who is selling poison to his own people. I'm sorry, protection comes at a condition, and that condition that black men require of black women is the condition of submission. And submission to black male authority is the condition you get protection. And that's one of the first things many black women don't understand. They don't understand that to get the protection of responsible brothers in the community, you have to submit to the authority of responsible brothers. Now, if a sister is out here and she's not involved with these drug dealers, she's not involved with these gang members, she's coming from a decent family, and she's not involved in any criminal activity, that sister can go to black men in the community and she can ask for protection because she is submitting to the authority of those black men. So in order to get our protection, we need to see submission, and we need to see that submission to us in order for us to come out here and advocate for us. It's a reciprocal exchange. You submit to black male authority, and then that authority goes out here and represents and advocates you. Moreover, most black women need to understand that protection not only comes with submission and is one part of it, but that also black men want respect. And you can't sit there and say all sorts of things about the black men in your community, disrespecting them, calling them lames, calling them stupid, calling them retarded, and saying that all sorts of nasty things to the responsible brothers out here who are going out here putting in the work. You can't come to those brothers with a disrespectful mouth and then expect those brothers to come out here and provide you with protection. No, in order to get protection from the men in your community, you have to show those men respect and show them that you value them as men, because no man is going to give unconditional protection to loudmouth, disrespectful women who are getting involved with enemies of our state, such as Pookie, Ray Ray, the neighborhood dope man, the guys at the stripper bar, the pimp, or going out here and swirling. No black man is going to put his life on the line to give any black woman protection if she's going to go out here and get involved with the enemies of the black community or participate in irresponsible and reckless and immoral behaviors like getting involved with the dope game, being a stripper, or going out here and, like Meghan Thee Stallion, promoting sexual promiscuity and sexual immorality. If a woman wants to go out here and participate in these behaviors and get involved with these kinds of guys, then she is left out on her own. And whatever happens to that woman in whatever situation she is involved with just happens to her. And that's the way it is in every other community in the world. In every other community in this world, if a woman does not want to submit to the male authorities of that community, she is told to go out here and deal with whatever happens to her. And if something bad happens to her, it is then presented as an example to all of the other women out there, as a consequence to them to understand this is what happens when you go out here on your own. You want to be independent? Well, independence comes with a consequence. And sadly, many black women have learned this whole concept of being strong and independent from these white feminists. But when they have to deal with real life consequences, these same women want to go out here and talk about, I need protection. Well, I'm sorry, again, protection is not something offered unconditionally from any collective of men. No, protection is only offered to the women who want to follow the conditions and terms set by the men who are in authority. And if you do not want to follow the conditions and terms that the responsible black men have presented as related to the black community, you cannot go out here and call up brothers and say, I need protection. If you want protection, you're going to have to go back to your Pookies, your Ray Rays, your neighborhood dope man, or the guy who runs the stripper bar. And if you're swirling, you're going to have to go back to that white man or that Hispanic man or that Arab man. You cannot go over to the black man when you get jammed up with these other people you're involved with. You went and wanted to submit to those men's authority. And if you're going to get involved with those men and submit to their authority, you cannot go back to responsible black men and then ask them to give you protection. No, that's not something any man is going to go and do, because a man is going to say, look, if you're not submitting to my authority and you're not submitting to our authority, we have no dealings with you. You go back to those men who you got involved with and you deal with the consequences of those men. This is a big problem that many black women have. They want to go out here and be with all of these other men out here, but then when they get into trouble, they want to go out here and call up the black man, or if they get beat up or something happens to them, they want to blame the black man. I'm sorry, you cannot sit here and blame the black man for whatever trouble you got into. You have to take responsibility for that, because you wanted to get involved with these guys, one, and two, you wanted to talk about how you were strong and independent and did not need a man. So you deal with whatever happens to you. There is no protection because you went out here and rejected the black man's protection. And again, that black man's protection is conditional, and if you don't meet the conditions and terms that are set by black men, you don't get that protection, period. Now, many are alleging that Breonna Taylor got involved with dope dealers. And if that's the case, then whatever happened was a consequence of that. However, that the whole thing that people are really protesting about with that case is the cover up that the Attorney General participated in and the questionable practices of law enforcement. That's something people really need to be focused on in terms of argument when it comes down to Breonna Taylor. But if she was involved with drug dealers and criminals, as some allege, then again, whatever happens to her from that consequence. But under the conditions of law and the reasons for the warrant, that's my issue as related to her case. That's related to legal precedent. But the whole thing is, most black women out here need to understand that if you want a man's protection, you have to be a honest woman. You have to be willing to submit to that man's authority, and you have to show that man that you respect him, because in order to get protection, you need to give that man respect. You need to appreciate the fact that this man is going out of his way. A lot of women have a lot of messed up notions from feminism, thinking that, oh, I get protection unconditionally. They think that guys are going to go out here and play the white knight if they go out here and play some domestic violence situation or start some stuff with somebody out here. But that's something that runs contradictory to what the feminists presented, talking about being strong and independent. If you want to be strong and independent, then you need to be strong enough to deal with the consequences of what happens when you do things like run your mouth and get in the face of some guys, or you get involved with people who are considered enemies of the black community, whether it be the Korean shop owners, the thugs and the bad boys, or the drug dealers. Whatever individual you get involved with, you need to be able to understand that sometimes your mouth can write checks, your behind can't cash. And if you get in this man's face, there's a chance that you have no man to protect you, and this man can put hands on you. But if you do get in these situations and stuff happens, that's on you, because you said you wanted to be strong and independent. You did not need a man. That's the feminist mantra you like to say whenever a man wants to assert male authority. But when you make that mantra, you have to deal with the consequences of that mantra. So you have a lot of black women who want to talk about protection, but they don't understand the concept of protection. Protection, and I'll keep saying it again and again so women will get it. Protection comes under two conditions. Protection comes under a woman submitting to black male authority, and it comes when a black woman shows a black man respect. If a black woman is out here being disrespectful and going out here and bucking black male authority, talking about she's strong and independent and don't need no man, then she don't need no protection from black men. And if she goes out here and starts some mess with either this Korean hair shop owner, this Arab store owner, these Pookies and Ray Rays, or even these white police officers or their white boyfriends, then we in the black community, us black men, we have the right to walk away, because this person is not under our jurisdiction. This person is not under our authority. And if they're not under our jurisdiction and our authority, whatever happens to them, happens to them. And we use that as a message to other black women in the community to let them know that if you go outside of the black community and outside of the terms and conditions of the black community, you void the warranty. And if you void the warranty and you wind up getting broken, that's on you. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to try some of my positive African American fiction, like the ISIS series, the East series, the John Haynes series, the Spinsterella trilogy, the Thetas, and my men's issues books like The Man Crisis and Stop Simpin', you can find all of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Give in to temptation and pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes